Welcome to 12-Minute News with KAJB Today. I'm Desiree Van Zyl, and today we'll be discussing the stem cell research and to see if it's a beneficial alternative to curing cancers and many other diseases across this world. This topic is very controversial for many religious people because of how the stem cells are extracted from embryos. This research has had great success in the past century and has had great impact on many people with heart transplants to curing their cancers. This discovery has had great potential for the future from curing many things. And with new technology in the near future, we could only imagine the possibilities for stem cell research in the next 20 years. What are stem cells? First off, we have many cells in our bodies. Each cell has a specific job, such as cardiac muscles help you with your heart, and muscle cells help with your muscles. Stem cells are opposite, which means they do not have a specific job for anything. Most stem cells are extracted from embryos or the umbilical cord. In just the umbilical cord, there are millions and millions of embryonic stem cells. Many are against stem cell research because of the use of embryos and in that it's a dead-end science. So there's no public funding. But it's not true. It helps cure many diseases like diabetes, spinal issues, and loss of vision or hearing. This stem cell research could also help with many organ transplants. Every day, 21 people die from waiting for an organ transplant. But it's time for a change. We could use stem cells to help repair damaged tissues and organs, and cells will create old cells and treat and heal it. For example, in a kidney, there are many tubes that help with filtration. But when a tube is damaged, it could cause a lot of issues. If stem cells are injected over a period of time, it will eventually repair the damaged tube. Stem cell research has great potential. It may seem negative to religious aspects, but we see that it has a great impact on today's science. Now we go to Bella with a former stem cell scientist with lots of information and opinions on this.
Hi, my name is Bella. Today we're going to be interviewing former scientist Adriana.
Hello.
Let's get started. What is the embryonic stem cell?
Embryonic stem cells are stem cells taken from aborted fetuses or umbilical cords that are considered as blank cells that could cure diseases possibly. For research, scientists obtain embryonic stem cells in two ways. The first process is through viro fertilization. The first process is when couples, sperms and eggs are fertilized and is placed in the female. However, since so many embryos are formed more than what can be implanted, they're usually frozen for future uses.
Do you know how long you can hold the embryos for?
Probably for like about 7 years, if not more. So the second process is called therapeutic cloning. Through this process, a cell is merged with a donor egg, then the nucleus is removed from the egg and replaced with the nucleus of the patient's cell.
All right. Okay, when was the embryonic stem cell first used?
The first embryonic stem cell used was from early mouse embryos in 1981. After the study of biology of mouse, stem cells led to discovery in 1998 of a method to derive stem cells from human embryos and grow the cells in laboratories. Cells are called human embryonic stem cells. In 2006, researchers made another breakthrough by identifying conditions that would allow some specialized adult cells to be reprogrammed genetically to assume a stem cell-like state.
What are the benefits of using stem cells?
The benefits of using stem cells is that it can treat any diseases by doing stem cell therapy. Stem cells treatments can be done for diabetes, heart diseases, It can also cure illnesses such as spinal cord injuries. Stem cells can also generate organ and limbs that are grown in labs to be utilized for treatment of transplants.
So do you know how doctors implant the embryonic stem cell into the new carrier?
Yes, doctors actually take out bone marrow or adipose tissue from the patients and process the stem cells in the lab to create that specific treatment. Stem cells are directly placed in a patient as well. Let's just say like the neck, they'll inject that so it could cure the neck. The process is to take embryonic stem cells and grow them in a lab to fit the disease that's going to be cured. If not, they use bone marrow that's taken from the patient.
Can you just inject the embryonic stem cells into the infected area?
That could work too. However, for limbs, they have to be grown in the laboratory.
Have there been any success stories from people that have the implanted stem cell?
Yes, there has been quite a lot. In 2011, scientists injected retinal cells derived from embryonic stem cells into the eyes of two progressing blindness patients. The procedure changed their life for the better, providing them to have better vision. On July 7, 2016, Jake Javier was left paralyzed from the chest down with no ability to use either his arms or hands. He had 10 million stem cells transplanted into his neck at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center in San Jose. Since then, Jake has regained the use of his arms.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
information
you
with us
for
today. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Like with what Adriana said about the paralyzed victim, many believed brain damage was something that could go unfixed. Thanks to stem cell medical breakthrough, this could be fixed just like Jake Javier. Another wheelchair-bound stroke victim regained ability to walk thanks to stem cells being injected into the brain. After a stroke, the brain has a decreased blood flow, resulting in cell death. At Stanford University, they discovered a new method to repair damaged brain tissue. They used stroke victims at the plateau stage, basically when there is no more potential for these patients. They take them out of therapy because there is no reason for them to be there. During this trial, doctors drilled a hole in a skull and injected stem cells in the damaged area of the brain. Remarkably, the stem cells repaired the damaged areas of the brain, and the next few days, they started to walk and talk again, and were sent home on the same day of the surgery. Stem cells are an amazing discovery in today's world, and we hope to continue the research for this topic. Thank you, Bella, and now we go to another interview on this topic, but in a religious aspect.
And we're back with former theologist Caitlin. Welcome.
Hi.
So, how does religion influence the embryonic stem cell research?
Religion influences the study of embryonic stem cells because most religions are pro-life, meaning that they are against abortions, and embryonic stem cell research uses embryos from abortions to experiment and study the possible effects that stem cells could have on repairing damage from strokes, seizures, and possibly cures for cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes.
Why is embryonic stem cell research so controversial?
Embryonic stem cell research is a strong battle between science and religion, and both have very strong viewpoints, and they almost never agree. They clash in a lot of ways.
Are you aware of the aborted fetuses being used for scientific research?
Women are not aware of the aborted embryos being used for science because no consent is given before the abortion, and the parents are not notified after the abortion.
Do you know of any alternative solutions for obtaining the embryonic stem cell rather than using an embryo?
An alternative option that would not use embryos would be to use the umbilical cord. According to NIH.gov, scientists are able to obtain more cells and have a higher success rate when deriving cells from an umbilical cord. And this can be done with parental consent after delivery to donate the umbilical cord to science.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
See you guys next week.
Thank you for watching today's 12-minute news. We hope that your views have been widened and have a new perspective on this century's new discovery. Catch us again on KAJB today at 5 p.m. every day with new findings and incredible research. Have a good night and catch us again tomorrow.